Corruption in politics, a bipartisan menace. In today's world, corruption has transcended the boundaries of political affiliations, and it appears that someone is indeed feeling the heat. Corruption in politics is a pervasive issue that knows no party lines, as it affects politicians from all sides of the spectrum. Forensic accounting might indeed unveil numerous skeletons buried in both local and foreign bank accounts, shedding light on the depth of this problem. Moreover, it seems that foundations in physical gold have become favored means of illicitly influencing politicians, such as the controversial case of Senator Bob Menendez, highlighting the urgency of addressing this issue. Corruption, unfortunately, has become a general plague that corrodes the integrity of political systems worldwide. It is imperative to emphasize that it is not limited to any specific political party or ideology, rather, it festers in the corridors of power, regardless of whether one identifies as a Republican, Democrat, Liberal, Conservative, or Green Party representative. Forensic accounting has increasingly gained prominence in recent years as a tool for uncovering financial improprieties. It involves the meticulous examination of financial records, transactions, and accounts to trace the flow of money. In the realm of politics, it can be an invaluable tool for exposing hidden corruption. Suspicious bank accounts, offshore holdings, and unaccounted for wealth may all come to light under the scrutiny of forensic accountants. Foundations have emerged as a subtler and more insidious means of influencing politicians. Wealthy individuals and interest groups can funnel vast sums of money through charitable foundations, ostensibly for philanthropic purposes. However, these funds can also be used to curry favor with politicians through donations, sponsorships, and other forms of support. This indirect approach not only blurs the lines of accountability but also allows for the covert manipulation of political decisions. Physical assets like gold have historically held a special allure in the world of politics. Their tangible and universally recognized value makes them an attractive option for bribing or influencing politicians. These assets can easily change hands without leaving a trace, making it difficult for authorities to detect corrupt activities. The case of Senator Bob Menendez serves as a stark example of how corruption can infiltrate even the highest levels of government. Menendez, a Democrat from New Jersey, faced allegations of corruption and bribery involving a wealthy donor. Though he was ultimately acquitted, the controversy surrounding his case underscored the need for greater transparency and accountability in politics. To combat corruption effectively, it is crucial to recognize that it is not exclusive to any one party or ideology. Corruption erodes public trust in government, undermines democracy, and impedes progress. Both politicians and citizens alike must work together to address this issue, demanding greater transparency, stricter campaign finance regulations, and rigorous accountability mechanisms. In conclusion, the prevalence of corruption in politics is a disturbing reality that transcends political affiliations. The use of forensic accounting, the manipulation of foundations, and the allure of physical assets like gold are just a few of the tactics employed to influence politicians illicitly. The case of Senator Bob Menendez highlights the pressing need for comprehensive reforms that address corruption from all angles, without regard for party lines. To protect the integrity of our political systems and restore public trust, we must unite in our efforts to combat this bipartisan menace. The recent visit of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to Canada has sparked debate and raised questions about the allocation of resources in both countries. While Zelensky seeks additional financial assistance for Ukraine, some Canadians are concerned about their own domestic challenges, including poverty, hunger, and homelessness. It is essential to examine this issue from multiple perspectives, considering the complexities of international aid and domestic priorities. The recent visit of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to Canada has sparked debate and raised questions about the allocation of resources in both countries. While Zelensky seeks additional financial assistance for Ukraine, some Canadians are concerned about their own domestic challenges, including poverty, hunger, and homelessness. It is essential to examine this issue from multiple perspectives, considering the complexities of international aid and domestic priorities. President Zelensky's visit to Canada serves as a reminder of the global interconnectedness that characterizes the modern world. International relations often necessitate partnerships and assistance between nations. Ukraine has faced significant challenges, including conflict in its eastern regions and geopolitical pressure from neighboring Russia. As a result, seeking financial support from friendly nations like Canada is a strategic move to stabilize the Ukrainian economy and promote its democratic institutions. However, it is also valid to express concern about domestic issues within Canada. Poverty, hunger, and homelessness are pressing problems that require attention and resources. Canada is known for its commitment to social welfare and its reputation as a compassionate nation. Therefore, it is natural for citizens to expect their government to address these issues effectively. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, often referred to as a progressive leader, has implemented policies aimed at redistributing wealth and supporting vulnerable populations. His government has advocated for increased taxes on higher income earners and introduced various social programs. Critics, however, argue that these policies may not be sufficient to tackle the nation's domestic challenges. The characterization of Prime Minister Trudeau as a Robin Hood of Canada reflects a perception that his policies are focused on wealth redistribution, taking from the affluent to support the less fortunate. While this approach may align with certain ideologies, it is essential to evaluate its effectiveness in addressing the root causes of poverty and homelessness. It is crucial to acknowledge that international aid and domestic priorities are not mutually exclusive. Canada can provide assistance to countries like Ukraine while simultaneously addressing its domestic issues. The key lies in efficient resource allocation, transparency, and accountability. Moreover, the responsibility for leadership and decision-making ultimately rests with the electorate. The notion of electing the wrong people as their leaders is an inherent part of democracy. Elections provide citizens with the opportunity to choose their representatives, and the outcomes reflect the collective will of the people. Democracy also allows for checks and balances, as citizens can hold their leaders accountable through democratic processes. In conclusion, the visit of President Zelensky to Canada raises important questions about international aid and domestic priorities. While it is essential to support international partners in times of need, it is equally important for Canada to address its own pressing domestic issues. The characterization of Prime Minister Trudeau as a modern-day Robin Hood underscores the ideological debates surrounding wealth redistribution. Ultimately, effective governance requires a delicate balance between international responsibilities and domestic concerns, and this balance can be achieved through transparent and accountable decision-making processes.